Hi, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use COSRX Advanced Snail Radiance Dual Essence, which contains 3 different snail slimes as well as niacinamide, which should help us to hydrate, plump and lock in moisture. It's rich in antioxidants, it has anti-inflammatory, antibacterial and anti-aging properties, and it should help us to brighten the skin, for example fade dark spots after breakouts. And when using it, it is suitable for all skin types. You can use it daily in the morning and or evening on its own or along with any other skincare products, including your exfoliating acid like glycolic acid. It's fine to use with, like, for example, vitamin C. It's completely fine. There aren't any conflicts. What you have to keep in mind if you want to use it along with other products is the order of application, and this is now where I want to take the time to go over my example skincare routine to properly break it down so that you know the setup of it. And I want to get started with the example morning skincare routine, which you can see right here. Now always make sure to choose the products accordingly to your skin type and concerns, but nonetheless this would be the order of application. Starting off with your cleansing step, then you're heading into your toner step if you have one at home. Then you would use the snail essence, then your serums, and then lastly your sunscreen. Now when it comes to the serums, it primarily depends on the formulation. I want to keep our main focus now on water-based serums because this is where the issue arises. If you have a water-based serum that has a thinner texture than your dual essence, you can use that one before applying the essence. If you have a water-based serum that has a similar texture to the essence, well then you can use them in either order. However, if you should have a serum that's, for example, a non-hydrous solution that's water-free, you may have a serum that contains also certain oils, well then make sure to use it after the snail essence. This way you're making sure that the products can properly absorb into the skin and that you're getting most out of your treatments. And below you have the general guide, which should help you to use the products and how much you need to use of them. As for the evening skincare routine, it can look pretty much the same. As you can see right here, I've just updated the cleansing step because you may want to exchange your cleanser or do a double cleanse to properly wash your face. If you want to include an exfoliant, this can be the next step. If it's a water-based toner or serum, then move on to the essence. Again, remember the steps with your specific water-based serums. And then lastly, if you should feel the need, you can follow with a moisturizer. But of course, you can see what steps are optional. So it's completely fine to just use a dual essence after your cleansing step and then there you have it, or follow with your sunscreen afterwards if you have sun exposure. So you can simplify it or come up with a more advanced skincare routine. If you want to go over the example routine in your own time and you want to look into the products that I have picked, you'll find everything in my PowerPoint. And below the example routines, there you have the product description box, which lists all the products that I have listed in my example routine with the description next to it for you to understand a bit better. After that, you'll find a general skincare tips guide, which for example includes how you can properly wash your face to avoid skincare pilling, and a sunscreen guide. And you'll find all that information in the PowerPoint, which I'm going to leave in the description box down below. However, now I want to get started with the application. Now I'm going to go with a very simple morning skincare routine, keeping the main focus towards the 3 essential steps, which is the cleansing step, the application of the snail essence, and lastly sunscreen. And when it comes to the cleansing step, please remember to choose a cleanser that's suitable for your skin type and needs. Make sure to read on the back of the packaging if it needs to be applied to dry or wet skin. Use lukewarm water to warm water, but avoid hot water, otherwise it may dry out your skin. And when washing your face above the sink, you may want to use a soft, clean, damp washcloth to remove any last traces of your cleanser, sunscreen and or makeup. And the final step of your cleansing step would be patting the skin dry. Those are all the points that I want to share with you, so please pay attention. As an example, I'm going to use COSRX Low pH Good Morning Gel Cleanser, which is a foaming cleanser and it needs to be applied to wet skin, so let's go ahead and do this. Then use about a coin-size amount in the palm of your hand or fingertips. Rub your hands together. And then gently massage it all over your face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute. If you're working with an oil or balm cleanser and applying it to dry skin, you can massage it all over for up to 2 minutes if needed. Now rinse it off. Now use your damp washcloth to follow along the hairline, maybe around your eyes and all over your face if you still have some traces of your cleanser, sunscreen and or makeup on the skin. Now recommend rinsing again. And now go ahead and take a clean towel and gently pat all over to remove the excess water drops from the skin surface to ensure that your snail essence can properly absorb into the skin, that it does not get diluted with the water drops on the skin surface, which then can lead to skincare pilling or a dry or tight feeling, or in the worst case scenario create sensitivity. Now after your cleansing step, your skin remains damp for a few minutes. So if you want to lock in that moisture, now would be the time to follow immediately with the snail essence. Of course, if you want to include an additional hydrating and soothing toner or exfoliant in between, go ahead and do so, but then follow with the essence afterwards, once that has also fully absorbed into the skin. Now with this essence, it has two formulations. So when like pressing on the pump, the two formulations come out and then you need to mix it between your fingers and then apply it to the skin. With one pump, you have enough product for your entire face and neck. I do not suggest using more than that, otherwise it can feel extremely sticky on the skin surface, which can lead to an uncomfortable feeling. That's one pump. Going to mix it between my fingers and then apply it evenly all over your face and neck, making sure not to get it into your eyes nor into your mouth, and please do not use it on top of your eyelids nor on top of your lip. Once you have blended it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now I've just blended it all over until I notice that it starts to absorb into the skin. That's one way on how you can do it. Otherwise, just blend it lightly all over and then give it about 30 seconds to a minute to fully absorb into the skin. So there are two ways on how you can work with it. Nonetheless, if you're planning on layering any other products on top, make sure that it can fully absorb into the skin before moving on to the next step. There's also an additional point that I want to emphasize, which you may saw while I was blending all over, and this is that if it starts to foam, don't worry, that's normal. It's just because of the rubbing motion, and it should go away once you have blended it into the skin. And in your evening skincare routine, you can stop right here or now follow on with a moisturizer if you should feel the need to keep things simple. Otherwise, it's completely fine to use the essence on its own, as it contains everything that the skin basically needs. You're getting the brightening benefits, the anti-aging benefits, plus hydration and plumbing. Now, since I'm going to go with a morning skincare routine, I still want to emphasize an important step, and this is your sunscreen if you have sun exposure, to properly protect the skin from the damaging UV rays. And as an example, I'm going to use COSRX Aloe Soothing Sunscreen, which is suitable for all skin types. It's very lightweight and hydrating on the skin. And when applying your sunscreen, remember to apply 10 to 15 minutes before sun exposure. As a general guide, which can be slightly adjusted depending on the size of your face and where you want to apply your sunscreen, use about half a teaspoon for your face and neck, including your ears if they are exposed as well. However, you can also use a little bit more or less if you should feel the need, but make sure to fully cover the entire area that's exposed to the sun to properly protect the skin. I have half a teaspoon right here, which I'm going to fill up. About that much, more or less. Just to give you a visual guide and an idea that you have to use a fair amount of sunscreen. Rub it between your fingers and then blend it all over your face and neck. If you tolerate your sunscreen around the eyes, you can use it around the eyes. Just make sure to not get it into your eyes, nor into your mouth. If your sunscreen should sting around the eyes, leave that part out, wear sunglasses instead, or switch to a different sunscreen. Once you have blended your sunscreen all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now, when it comes to the reapplication of your sunscreen, if you just have short intervals, like going to school, going to work, just heading out for lunch, coming quickly back, and you just have a little bit of sun exposure, if you're going to apply your sunscreen properly in the morning, it should last you the entire day because you do not have that much of sun exposure. However, if you have prolonged sun exposure, you are in the sun, like in a direct sun without any shade, you're doing outdoor activities where you sweat a lot, where you rub off your sunscreen, please do not forget to reapply it at least every 2 hours or every time after swimming, or if something rubs off, then do the reapplication. Then it is really essential to do so to properly protect the skin. But other than that, this would be the last step in your morning skincare routine. If you now want to continue with your makeup application, if you like to, just wait another 10 to 15 minutes to let the sunscreen set, and then there you have it. Remember, you'll find all the example skincare routines with that additional information in my PowerPoint, which is in the description box down below for you ready to download. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, that you find it helpful. If you did so, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you want to see more educational skincare content, please feel free and check out my YouTube channel. And I will see you there. Happy skincaring!